This is my 14th or 15th show in this gallery. It has a very peculiar, semi-domestic scale. But weirdly, it can take quite big objects. So I always have a model in the studio that I work with, that I have an idea about what the show might be. But in this particular show, I wanted a relationship between, well, three kinds of works, really: drawings, so-called mirror pieces, and these veiled objects. And amazingly, in this show, almost everything is exactly where I put it in the model. I've been drawn to the less certain states of objects. So therefore mirrored objects, void objects, pigment, and now kind of veiled objects. All of those things are statements about the skin of a thing. And painting is nothing if it isn't a series of veils or skins or whatever else. And it does surprise me how an object defines itself by its skin. In the 70s, when I was an art student, the conversation in sculpture was often about truth to material. It was about this idea that an object, to be a real thing, had to be a real thing. And I think my whole practice, in a way, has led me in exactly the opposite direction. I dare say that even the most robust sculpture can't avoid a conversation about the skin, about the surface layer. I'm obviously talking about Richard Serra. You can't avoid that conversation in a way. So weight and measure, substance, and the possibilities of being, almost in a way, are questions of skin. I'm really interested in the idea that the objects are not just emanations in a given space. That when they really work, they make another space. They make a space that's bigger, or wider, or more silent, or something, that they do something else. A successful Japanese garden isn't about the placing of this rock and that rock, who cares? It's that sense that something happens between them. It has a different sense of proportion, and I think therefore narrative. But you never call the narrative, of course. You can't name it, and yet it's there. It's that conversation about intermediary meanings that I think in the end is the only poetic kind of value that we hold as artists.